I suppose first things first, like we talked before about how you'd had, I suppose, many agency relationships before and the different people you'd worked with. So were you skeptical of coming on with KMH at the time? And kind of how was that?
What broke the ice was with your sister company with Bluefin Media. That's kind of where we started out. And yeah, I was skeptical because I've had attempts with other agencies for both ads and email. And starting out with your sister agency, then I got on really well with them, and I immediately saw the benefits in sales and then my own time. And then I was, more than happy to venture out then into the email side of it, because I was managing both the ads and the email myself, primarily with a few contractors along the way. But it was all my ideas, so it was always kind of the same old thing. And then after coming on board with you guys, not only did it just free me up to work on other things that I should be working on, but like sales have exploded. I think we were up 50% on last year already for the first quarter, even past April, consistently. Like it's not like we just have one or two. We did have one or two bumper months, but this is a consistent run now for the last 3, 4, 5 months even.
Email and SMS beforehand, I guess what's kind of been the difference in the last 4 or 5 months?
Like it was just sort of piecemeal, the work I was doing. We would do broadcast campaigns. I had 1 or 2 flows set up that were like very, very basic level flows for a welcome series maybe, and that was it. Now, a welcome series, I mean, there was probably 1 email in it. And then when you guys came in, you immediately tackled and saw the flows as being the low-hanging fruit, and that was the first thing that was built out and is continuing to be built out as well. Like there was an enormous amount of work done within the first 1 to 2 months to get those flows up and running. That gave revenues a huge kick in the right direction. That was the main difference. I mean, it was building out those flows and then having more than one head at the problem for like, what campaign are we going to do? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do an offer? And being able to brainstorm with your team then it's just such a relief. And it's not always me coming up with the ideas. And in fact, if I'm stuck on an idea, then I can just ask your team and they will come up with some great ideas for campaigns and templates. So yeah, so to answer the question, my work was just sort of flying by the seat of my pants. There was very little planning I could ever do. I was always like, what are we going to, what day is today? Friday, right? What are we doing for tomorrow's email? And what are we doing for maybe Monday? That would be at the height of it. Whereas now I can get 2, 3, 4 weeks planned in advance, which is...
Like how long, I suppose, did it take for you to kind of see the uptick in sales and that kind of thing? Was that fairly instant or?
It was within the first couple of weeks. I think once the flows went live, which was within the first few weeks, we started to notice an uptick. And then the email database was like the number of subscribers just started to grow rapidly as well. And the retention, all the metrics lifted, the click-through rate, the open rate, the engagement rate, the return rate, everything just grew. And I think they maybe all had a compounding effect on each other. Like email was maybe, I remember coming in thinking, I think we were probably around 20-25% of revenue for Klaviyo. And I was thinking if we can get it up to 30-35, and we've well exceeded that.
I suppose final question, I know you have to go here. Would you recommend KMH to other businesses if they were in the market for, let's say, email, SMS services?
Of course I would, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would highly recommend them. And it was probably one of the hardest things I've had to do since I started the business was to give up control on what I was doing in both the ads and the email. And it was like giving away a baby, because you're like, I worked so hard on this. Please don't mess it up. It has paid off. With other agencies, I'd never even got anything remotely to those results. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend Kensington Media House. Very easy to get on with. Your really genuinely nice bunch of people. I can click well with everybody on your team. I can brainstorm ideas with them and making bucket loads of extra sales for us as well. So it's a win-win.